Hello. We want more bees. We've got 2 beehives this spring. We want more, so I've invented this thing. Might be a bad idea, might be a good one. I call it the bee tree. It is a 100 by 100 steel post, probably 3 meters poking out of the ground and probably 1 meter in the ground. I have to do the calcs. And the basic idea is that you can mount beehives on a structure that goes up and down this pole. So when you need to interact with the bees, you can lower it down to the ground level. You can do your stuff and you crank it back up high. So this lets you keep bees in urban areas where you might not have the footprint for them, but you've got plenty of air print. So let me get rid of that. Okay, so the green bit is obviously the 100 by 100 steel post. You can see in there's some black rollers, so they give it the ability to roll up and down and also make sure it doesn't flop around. 2 of them, so they can't flop around in that dimension. The red things are strain gauges. I have strain gauges under all my beehives, so I can measure their weight. These are cheap Chinese 100, I think they're rated, their break strain is like 200 kilos, but their useful measuring range is up to about 100 kilos, which is fine by me. This is all 50 by 50 by 3 box steel, welded together, maybe bolted, maybe welded. I say I'd rather weld it, but assembling is going to be a bit of a tricky proposition. If I need to take this off the post for some reason, I've basically got to dig the post out of the ground or cut it off or something. And so then there'd be a pulley at the top and a cable, stainless steel cable going around the pulley, fixed to there, and probably a crank at the bottom, like a flagpole crank, to crank it up and down, because you really don't want the situation where you let your clutch fails and 4 beehives fall out of the sky. Let me turn the beehives back on. And so I have 3 full depth boxes on my hive, so that's what they'll look at the end of the day. I know this looks like a lot of weight on one thing, but that thing is made to take a lot of weight and it's very strong. And I've built the sort of H-shape steel frame that goes underneath that mounts onto that, so they're very secure, and I'll probably put a strap over them for safety. So basically, yeah, there's a few good spots on the property. My main concern is that being up high like that, the bees, so the entrance is on this side, they've got a lot of houses and light sources out here, so they might get a bit exploratory at night. We have the occasional bee come into our house at night time. So maybe I'm thinking some kind of baffle that extends from the behind of the previous, the adjacent hive, that sort of blocks off, like there's a sight barrier, and it's like a piece of cardboard or something to make the bees come out and then fly off, so they can't see very far looking at their front door. That might reduce the night flight problem. Might cause other problems, I don't know. But this design basically lets you cram more bees per square meter of ground because it makes use of space up in the air. You still obviously need to have that ground space free, but this can just be your lawn and you can mow and kids can play there and everything as per normal without being worried about your bees. I suppose if you live in places with bears and such, this would be a decent job at keeping bears away from your bees as well. Let me know what you think. Bye.